I can't quit laughing. All right, listen. Here's the deal. If you want someone to believe that something is useless, now I may have to turn my XSplit off. This is really bumming me out. I love this program, but I have this horrible feeling that I'm. If you want someone to believe that, you know what, I'm not roboting. So as long as I'm not roboting, I'm going to keep XSplit up because it's going to work really good for me. I'll be able to do some cool stuff like this, you know, when I want to show the document, and I'll be able to be up here in the corner and still have the document up. So I can't quit laughing. This is what you don't do. You do not say, oh, the memo is nothing. There's nothing to this, after you spend a week saying it will ruin the FBI and the CIA, and if you release this, because here, look, before I do anything, folks, good to see you, Cap. Good to see you, Zero. Good to see you, Mole. Common Sense Guy, Memes of Destruction, Gamer 900. Good to see all y'all. Good to see all y'all. Everybody else that comes in, I'll take time to probably mention, but going to be a little bit of editorializing here. If I don't notice you, sorry. I'm going to try to, because each and every one of you are important to me. You are the most important cog in this very auspicious machine. So here, shall I have a little swat? This is wax, butane hash extract, BHO, butane hash oil, or earwax, from a strain called Blue OG. So shall I? Let's see if I can let y'all see it melt here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. I love the extracts because I like, my favorite thing to do is smoke a joint or to enjoy extracts, because I like to smoke a joint. I really do. I used to smoke cigarettes. I started when I was 38 and quit when I was 42. You can go figure. But I used to smoke cigarettes for 4 years of my life, and I never got over that, enjoying to puff on something. So I do like having a doobie. Wastes a lot of weed though. Extracts, I can have a nice swat like you just saw. Maybe one more. In fact, I'll have one more here, clear this out a little bit. And that's good. I'm good to go. I mean, I feel great. No anxiety, no post-traumatic stress disorder. That's the main reason I use cannabis, is to deal with post-traumatic stress disorder. I was carjacked, left for dead. Most people around here know that. That's something, I tell you. I still find myself thinking about it at the oddest of times, wondering, you know, thinking about what I could have done differently, thinking about how close I was to death, wondering if, and don't get me wrong, not suicidally, but wondering if, you know, if it was better because I knew that death was imminent and then it got taken away. All these things are post-traumatic stress. It's tough. I'm just going to tell you, with my background in psychology, the reason I'm telling you all this huge, somehow close, but also disconnected friend network that I have here is because it's good for me. It really is. And that's also a good example for other people that may ever deal with something like this. You can't just lock it up inside. You cannot do it. It will eat you up. You'll end up taking Boost Spar or Zoloft and shooting your bloody self in the face. It's, and you know, the thing that kills me is they don't want to allow cannabis to be legal for this kind of usage, but it's fine with they, and when I say they, I mean the powers that be, government, they're fine with Boost Spar, Zoloft, Paxil, you know, you name it. But what was the old one really made people go crazy? Not lithium salts, but that other one, that Prozac. Still bloody prescribe that. Weed is a dangerous Schedule I narcotic, and yet they still prescribe Prozac, knowing that it causes suicide, murderous rages, all of these wonderful, wonderful things. So anyway, let me have one more bong swat. And then I would like you all to pick while we're talking here. Shall I have a silver bullet or shall I have a banquet beer? Both Coors. Shall I have the banquet beer, Coors, regular, or shall I have the silver bullet? One for silver bullet, two for Banquet beer, whoever gets the most votes wins. This is not the Electoral College, even though I love that system. Got to say really quick, thank you so much, Memes of Destruction. In fact, everybody that was there last night, but Memes he's just one of those guys that, I had some haters there that must know Coach Red Pill or whatever. They were talking about pulling my penis out and all this these things. It was funny because they followed Coach. Coach was talking about making a fool of himself, and I made a point that we all make fools of ourselves. Memes was there. I'm not going to rehash that, but I want to say, Memes, it was great to have you there, and the others that showed up last night. It was really, really great. Why pick one? Drink them both. All right. So I tell you what, probably going to go with that. So far, I got twos though. So the first one I'm going to drink will be the Banquet beer, the Study. And I'm ready to have a drink, so I'm going to open it up now. So without any more ado, thank you for being here again. This is going to be something I do live because I wanted to cover this memo, but I want you here. I want to be able to glance over and see what you're saying about this. Liberal, conservative, doesn't matter to me. I've been accused of having a bunch of conservative friends. I don't know if you all are conservative. I don't really ask. I don't ask people. They're leaning so much. I guess I must be more conservative because all the liberal people that I thought were liberal around me, they've all fled for the hills. And I'm stuck now here, not in a bad way, but I'm stuck now here in a good way with Magic Bollocks and my beloved common sense guy. You know what I mean? So I guess, and let's face it, we're all probably white right wing. There's some people that would say we're alt-right, but fuck them. They don't know us. So anyway, here you go. Here's to the alt-right, the alt-left. Here's to Snub Nub. Here's to Aries. Here's to Oozaloo. Here's to On the Offensive. Here's to the Britisher. Here's to Academic Agent. Here's to Coach Red Pill and all the ones that have been there for the common sense guy and myself and Magic Bollocks. Now that he's on board, he'll be around for a while. Here's to you all. Thank you so much for everything you've done. Hopefully we will never let any of you down with our comedy, with our serious take on politics and news, and with our outrageous personalities. God save the Queen. Boy, that's good. It's funny that a cold beer is still so good. Even I was out today, it's 5 degrees, I think negative 11 Celsius. Without the wind chill, and the wind was blowing. Now, once I got in the wind didn't matter. In fact, my biggest problem when I work is to go slow, take my time, because I'll start to sweat. And you don't want to sweat out there. You get wet, and it's really uncomfortable. I always come home a little damp because I want to get the job done. So anyway, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, cold beer, even after a cold day. That's the conundrum that I love and that I never really will fully understand. Why is a cold beer so good even after a hot, hard day's work or a cold, hard day's work? Don't seem to matter. That delicious, when the bubbles meet on the lips while breaking. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Oh, so anyway. Yes, I'm going to drink them both. And let's see here. Oh, yeah, what am I going to do? One more little togi here. Now, I may be mentally prepared to delve into this topic. I may be set. I may be ready. I may be ready for the jolt. I may be prepared for the mental trauma. I mean, I've already told you that I suffer from PSTD. This will give you mental PSTD, post-traumatic stress disorder from mental stresses, post-traumatic MSTD. So post-traumatic mental stress, whatever. You get it. Oh, excuse me. I did just guzzle about half a bottle of beer, and it does get the bubblies going. It's nice to have those burps, but you don't want to hear them. So here we go. I'm going to start right at the beginning. I'm not going to jump ahead to the good parts like I've seen everybody else do, but I'm going to read through this mostly without comment. The White House. So let's be clear. This starts at the White House. I used to be a preacher, and we open up the book of the Revelation that says, this is the revelation of Jesus Christ handed down to John through the angel Gabriel. And so we see that it's the revelation of Jesus Christ, because everybody's like John the Revelator. It's a revelation of Jesus Christ given to John through Gabriel, actually passed through two hands. Well, came the origin, passed through hands. And this isn't a Bible study. I just want people to realize that when we go through things like this, it's very important that we do an exegesis, okay, class? Eisegesis, isolation, eisegesis. To perform eisegesis, you apply what you want to see. It's easy to use exegesis. It's also an easy way to call it is confirmation bias. Now, eisegesis is a little more in-depth. Let me stick with that. Eisegesis is when you apply what you believe onto the text, You superimpose your beliefs on it. Exegesis, exoskeleton, outside, from without. Exegesis is where you only take what it is. You take it at the surface. You take it for what it is. You only take the meaning of it. Today, we will be using exegesis, my beloved constant viewers, to extract what this is telling us. And then we will talk a little bit about what the arguments are and if they wash even a little bit. So this is, as I said, passes through some hands. This is from the White House, though. Let's make no mistake. When they say, oh, Trump, 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 yes, Trump is the last one. If he would have said no, it would not have been released. He could say, excuse me, no with the demos. I doubt he will, and it would not be released, but I doubt he will because we want to see this nonsense. Anyway, so let's see where it comes from. The White House, Washington. The White House, in the example I gave of Revelation, the White House is Jesus Christ, and Devin Nunes is Gabriel, and the select committee would be John the Revelator. That's the way this is going, you see. So, the White House, Washington, February 2nd, 2018, the Honorable Devin Nunes, Chairman, House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, United States Capitol, Washington, D.C., 2051-5. Dear Mr. Chairman, on January 29th, 2018, the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, hereinafter the committee, voted to disclose publicly a memorandum containing classified information provided to the committee in connection with its oversight activities. The memorandum, which is attached to this letter. We will get to that. As provided by Clause 11G of Rule X of the House of Representatives, the committee has forwarded this memorandum to the president based on its determination that the release of the memorandum would serve the public interest. The Constitution vests the president with the authority to protect national security secrets from disclosure. As the Supreme Court has recognized, it is the president's responsibility to classify, declassify, and control access to information bearing on our intelligence sources and methods and national defense. See example, Deputy of Navy versus Egan, 484 U.S. 518-527, 1988. In order to facilitate appropriate congressional oversight, the executive branch may entrust classified information to the appropriate committees of Congress, as it has done in connection with the committee's oversight activities here. The executive branch does so on the assumption that the committee will responsibly protect such classified information consistent with the laws of the United States. The committee has now determined that the release of the memorandum would be appropriate. The executive branch, across administrations of both parties, has worked to accommodate the congressional request to declassify specific materials in the public interest. However, public release of classified information by unilateral action of the legislative branch is extremely rare and raises significant separation of power concerns. Accordingly, the committee's request to release the memorandum is interpreted as a request for declassification pursuant to the president's authority. The president understands that the protection of our national security represents his highest obligation. Accordingly, he has directed lawyers and national security staff to assess the declassification request consistent with established standards governing the handling of classified information, including those under Section 3.1, paragraph D, parentheses D, of Executive Order 13526. Those standards permit declassification when the public interest is in disclosure overweighs. It permits declassification, when public interest in disclosure outweighs any need to protect that information. I tell you, listen carefully to this, folks. Most people skip over this, but this is important. The White House review process also included input from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence and the Department of Justice. Consistent with this review and these standards, the president has determined that declassification of the memorandum is appropriate. Based on this assessment and in light of the significant public interest to the memorandum, the president has authorized a declassification of the memorandum. To be clear, the memorandum reflects the judgments of its congressional authors. The president understands that oversight concerning matters related to the memorandum may be continuing. Though the circumstances leading to the declassification through this process are extraordinary, the executive branch stands ready to work with Congress to accommodate oversight requests consistent with applicable standards and processes, including the need to protect intelligence, sources, and methods. This is written sincerely, Donald F. McGahn, second counsel to the president. The Honorable Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House of Representatives, the House Adam Schiff, Ranking Member, House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. And we'll get it very quickly before I don't want to just gloss completely over this. Let's remember what's written here, okay, folks? Because the second they act like this is some salacious thing made up, blah, blah, blah. Well, they're saying, look, this memorandum, it says to be clear right here. To be clear, the memorandum reflects the judgments of its congressional authors. It's not even trying to say that this wasn't written by Nunes, okay? It's not saying that. We're not going to dispute that these are things that were cherry-picked. Of course they were. They're trying to show you that this thing is a contrived fallacy, that this is a ridiculous, overreaching debauch that started the genesis of, the preclusion of, the impetus for, the inertia, the generated inertia stemming from the DNC and most specifically Hillary Rodham Clinton. This has her fingerprints all over it. Does no one else see that? They know what's going to happen. They went through it. They started Ken Starr started to look into Vince Foster and ended up with a little dress with semen on it and had Clinton in front of Congress over, I did not have sex with relations with that woman. Well, he did. So what? So let's keep this in mind, that this is saying, to be clear, the memorandum reflects the judgments of its congressional authors. The president understands that oversight concerning matters related to the memorandum may be continuing. Understand that. I think that was brilliant on their part and it's twofold. One, look, they're covering their bases, of course. But two, they're also saying that other stuff will be coming out. We will be seeing other information. We will be looking at other sides. That's brilliant to me. We want the Democratic memo to come out. We want it to come out. All right, so let me go on down. So to be fair, let's remember that even the president's lawyer here, Donald F. McGahn II, is saying that we understand there's going to be this is going to be embattled, and that this is written by Nunes and the people on the right. This is, you know, that this is good. This is reflecting what they believe. They're actually being honest about it, unlike some things we find out here in the memorandum. The Honorable Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Adam Schiffler, Ranking Member of House Parliament Select Committee on Intelligence. Boy, that Adam Schiff, he's something else. Unclassified. 2 majority members, and you can see all the dates and whatnot from majority staff. Subject: Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act abuses at the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This, of course, is why they fought so hard not to have it put out, because it shows what they are, shows what they do. I won't use terms like scumbag today, but I want to say it. Think carefully. These people are the arbiters of the law. Purpose. I love this because it's so transparent. They tell you what the purpose is. They tell you who wrote it. They tell you that it's this. They tell you that they know it can be embattled, all right? It's very important that we know that too. Everyone else skipped over that, including Ben Shapiro, who I look up to. And I will drink them both, but I'm only drinking 2 beers because I'm only having 3 today total, and I want to have one with my dinner. And I'm not going to get wasted and try to do this. This needs to be thought of sensibly. So here we go. More transparency. Purpose. This memorandum provides members an update on significant facts relating to the committee's ongoing investigation into the Department of Justice, DOJ, and Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and their use of Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA, during the 2016 presidential election. Our findings, which are detailed below: 1. Raise concerns with the legitimacy and the legality of certain DOJ and FBI interactions with the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, FISA. And 2. Represent a troubling breakdown of legal processes established to protect the American people from abuses relating to FISA process. Investigation update. On October 22nd, 2016, DOJ and FBI sought to receive a FISA probable cause order not under Title 567, authorizing electronic surveillance on Carter Page from FISA. Page is a U.S. citizen who served as a volunteer advisor to the Trump presidential campaign. Consistent with the requirements under FISA, the application had to be first certified by the the director or deputy director of the FBI. It then required the approval of the Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, DAG, or the Senate-confirmed Assistant Attorney General for the National Security Division. The FBI and DOJ obtained 1 initial FISA warrant targeting Carter Page and 3 FISA renewals from the FISA, as required by a statute 50 U.S.C. 1805, parentheses D, parentheses 1. A FISA order on an American citizen must be renewed by the FISA every 90 days, and each renewal requires a separate finding of probable cause. Then Director James Comey signed 3, then Director Comey, that's like a rabbit, right? Then Director James Comey signed 3 FISA applications in question on behalf of the FBI and Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. It's very important that we remember that Comey signed these, okay? And why is he coming out bitching and moaning? We're going to find out. We already know. We're going to see it. It's written down right here. On behalf of the FBI, Deputy Director Andrew McCabe signed 1. He retired. Then DAG Sally Yates, then acting DAG Dana Bonetti, and DAG Rod Rosenstein each signed 1 or more FISA applications on behalf of the DOJ. All these people, Dana, Rod, Sally, get your lawyers ready. Due to the sensitive nature of foreign intelligence activity, FISA submissions, including renewals, before FISA are classified. As such, the public's confidence in the integrity of the FISA process depends on the court's ability to hold the government to the highest standard, particularly as it relates to surveillance of American citizens. Shouldn't happen, this trampling of our 4th Amendment rights. It's why it's there. This is why it's there. However, the FISA's rigor in protecting the rights of Americans, which is reinforced by 90-day renewals of surveillance orders, is necessarily dependent on the government's production to the court of all material and relevant facts. All material and relevant facts. This should include information potentially favorable to the target of the FISA application that is known by the government. If they know anything that would be like, well, maybe this coincidence, they should say it. They did all this with Carter Page. Let's remember, he's never been charged with anything. In the case of Carter Page, the government had at least 4 independent opportunities before the FISA to accurately provide an accounting of the relevant facts. However, our findings indicate that, as described below, material of relevant information was omitted. Now we get to the meat, folks. 1. The dossier compelled by Christopher Steele, Steele dossier, on behalf of the Democratic National Committee, DNC, and Hillary Clinton campaign, formed an essential part of the Carter Page FISA application. Steele was a longtime FBI source who was paid over $160,000 by the DNC and Clinton campaign via the law firm Perkins Cole and research firm Fusion GPS to obtain derogatory information on Donald Trump's ties to Russia. My goodness. Only that they knew that is horrible. 1A. Neither the initial application in October 2016 nor any of the renewals disclose or reference the role of the DNC, Clinton campaign, or any party/campaign in funding Steele's efforts, even though the political origins of the Steele dossier were then known to senior DOJ and FBI officials. Which ones? Well, we heard a few of their names up here. Rosenstein, and we hear him up here, Sally Yates, Dana Bonetti, Rod Rosenstein. Didn't we hear a few of them? James Comey, the Coney. 1B. The initial FISA application notes Steele was working for a named U.S. person, but does not name Fusion GPS and principal Glenn Simpson, who was paid by a U.S. law firm's Perkins Cole, representing the DNC, even though it was known by DOJ at the time that political actors were involved with the Steele dossier. The application does not mention Steele was ultimately working on behalf of and paid by the DNC and Clinton campaign, or that the FBI had separately authorized payment to Steele for the same information. Can you smell the swamp, folks? Can you smell it? Point of interest 2. The Carter Page FISA application also cited extensively a September 23rd, 2016 Yahoo News article by Michael Iskoff, which focuses on Page's July 2016 trip to Moscow. This article does not corroborate the Steele dossier because it is derived from information leaked by Steele himself to Yahoo News. The Page FISA application incorrectly assesses that Steele did not directly provide information to Yahoo News. Steele has admitted in the British court findings that he met with Yahoo News and several other outlets in September 2016 at the direction of Fusion GPS. Perkins Cole was aware of Steele's initial media contacts because they hosted at least one meeting in Washington, D.C. in 2016 with Steele and Fusion GPS, where this matter was discussed. 2A. Steele was suspended and then terminated as an FBI source for what the FBI defines as the most serious of violations. This person they used as a source, they fired. This is the most serious of violations. An unauthorized disclosure to the media of his relationship with the FBI in an October 30th, 2016, Mother Jones article by David Korn. Steele should have been terminated for his previous undisclosed contacts with Yahoo and other outlets in September, before the Page application was submitted to the FISA in October. But Steele improperly concealed from and lied to FBI about those contacts. To be, Steele's numerous encounters with the media violated the cardinal rule of source handling, maintaining confidentiality, and demonstrated that Steele had become a less than reliable source to the FBI. The person that they're getting information from worked for Hillary Clinton through Fusion GPS, and this law firm, was tasked with opposition research, paid $160,000. It's in Carter Page. When they say Carter Page, they're talking about president, the then runner, the then Republican nomination for president, the Republican nominee for president. You can't. What world do we live in? They're all the things that they have accused Trump of. They're not only willing to do, they have done. They were like, oh, you're going to put people in jail, they run against you, you're going to this, you're going to silence them, you're going to use the. Oh man, Obama's got a lot to answer for this. You know, this is what happens. Power corrupts, but ultimate power corrupts absolutely. This is what happens when you have a complicit media, a complicit everybody, because, oh, he's half white. I don't really know why, but I don't see any much other reason other than his racial mix and that he was some weirdo that changed his name. This is what happens. You give him a pass. I am almost happy. I am happy that every news organization, barring Fox and them to a large extent, are against Trump. Fox isn't against him. They just run honest stuff. I mean, Tucker was just talking about how no, we don't want the dreamers. And I mean, Tucker was questioned like, wow, you ran on this stuff and now he is a deal maker. All I can say is I knew what we were going to get. Another politician when it came down to it. Now, he's not been a politician per se in a job, but he's been a politician in that politics play a large part in what Trump did for years. So here we go. I'm going to get on back to the dossier here, and we'll get through it. This time, we're going to go through the entire thing as I am. Very little. I will editorialize a lot at the very end. And then our part 2, we'll get right into just complete and utter opinions on it. We'll have at least Common Sense Guy here. We'll see who else we get. I really like to get Coach Red Pill. Hey, you hear me, Coach? Like to fucking get you in here, dude, on this one. Even if he could just take an hour or something with us to kind of give us his 2 cents. I really learned a lot from that dude. I'm going to tell you, never judge a book by its cover. Don't buy into what you believe. Now, we like to keep it small here in church. Look, I'll get to that another day, too. I'm about to go off on a tangent because I smoked all that dope and now I'm drinking beer at someone's behest. My second beer, too, folks. Here's to you who all said that I should have 2. I haven't even looked over here for a minute. Thank you, folks. See my name here, Captain Cole since Ogre. Would YouTube send him a hemp play button? Oh, you know what, too? Here's your French 0. You're going to keep yours. And Cole Pile, you got to have one. Now, I love you, Quinn. You know, I don't see Quinn out there, but don't bust my balls. These boys been around for a long time. And and also Zero Cool does a good job. Oh, that's live, folks. So that's what happens. Sometimes we'll go off on little tangents. So let me get back to this dossier. And as I said, as we read through it, now I'll give a little editorial at the end. But then we'll wait until we get Common Sense Guy here, maybe Coach Red Pill, probably Zero Cool. Some folks that really got insight, have insight, memes of destruction. We may have as big as a 6-7 people panel, very CNN-esque, and all have a chance to give our 45, 50-second 2 cents every round. And I think that's important. So here we go. We're right here at 3. So let me just say very quickly, thank you so much for everybody that sponsors this. It'd be nice to have a super chat on this because I'm working my balls off. But if not, that's cool. Do what you're comfortable doing. I'm still working on it anyway, and that'll probably be changed to only PayPal. And it's somewhere up to $280 going to Common Sense Guy. It's just, boy, they make you jump through some hoops to end up doing this. And I really had to think a long time before I filled out a W-9 or whatever the fuck it is for taxes for this little money. But thank you, folks. For those of you that have donated in the past, donate in the future. For those of you that are here donating your time, listening to me. For those of you that care about Common Sense Guy, Magic Bollocks, the Britisher, all the people that have been around that have helped this show, here's to you. This silver bullet's for you. And matter of fact, because Lord knows I need it reading this stuff, this bong swat's for you. I mean, you almost feel like you got to go into it with, part of your brain inoperable. So that's my way of keeping it real. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, there's a little bit left in there. We don't want that to go to waste. So we are down to point 3 of the memo, also known as the newness memo, but I just like to call it the memo. Point 3. Back to let me get my narrator going. Excuse me. Before and after Steele was terminated as a source, he maintained contact with DOJ via then Assistant Deputy Attorney General Bruce Orr, a senior DOJ official who worked closely with Deputy Attorneys General Yates and later Rosenstein. Shortly after the election, the FBI was interviewing Orr, documenting his communications with Steele. For example, in September 2016, Steele admitted to Orr his feelings against then-candidate Trump when Steele said he, quote, was desperate that Donald Trump not get elected and was passionate about him not being president, close quote. This clear evidence of Steele's bias was recorded by Orr at the time and subsequently in official FBI files, but not reflected in any of the Page's FISA applications. Nothing from Page did they put in. None of that in the application. They knew it. Okay, here's the killer. This is the one that knocked me over, folks. This is 3A. During this same period, Orr's wife, and who was Orr? Let's remember, Bruce Orr was the senior DOJ official who was also the Deputy Attorney General. Associate Deputy Attorney General. He's the Associate Deputy Attorney General at the DOJ. This is not a paper pusher somewhere in a cubicle. Okay? During the same time period, Orr, his wife, was employed by Fusion GPS. Who's that? Oh, it's the company that was working with the Hillary Clinton for president campaign to assist in the cultivation of opposition research on Trump. Orr later provided the FBI with all his wife's opposition research paid for by the DNC and Clinton campaign via Fusion GPS. The Orr's relationship with Steele and Fusion GPS was inexplicably concealed from the FISA. Of course it was. Of course it was. And this looks so bad. Orr and his wife are in a buku trouble. 4. Point 4 of the memo. According to the head of the FBI's Counterintelligence Division, Assistant Director Bill Prinstap, corroboration of the Steele dossier was in its infancy at the time of the initial Page FISA application. After Steele was terminated, a source validation report conducted by an independent unit within the FBI assessed Steele's reporting as only minimally corroborated. Yet in early January 2017, Director Comey briefed President-elect Trump on a summary of the Steele dossier, even though it was, according to his June 2017 testimony, quote, salacious and unverified, close quote. While the FISA application relied on Steele's past record of credibility, reporting on other unrelated matters, it ignored or concealed his anti-Trump financial and ideological motivations. Furthermore, Deputy Director McCabe testified before the committee in December 2017 that no surveillance warrant would have been sought from the FISA without the Steele dossier information. Damning. 5. Point 5 in the final point of the dossier. The Page FISA application also mentions information regarding fellow Trump campaign advisor George Papadopoulos, but there is no evidence of any cooperation or conspiracy between Page and Papadopoulos. The Papadopoulos information triggered the opening of an FBI counterintelligence investigation in late July 2016 by FBI agent Peter Strzok. Strzok was reassigned by Special Counsel Office to FBI Human Resources for improper text messages with his mistress, FBI attorney Lisa Page. No known relationship to Carter Page, where they both demonstrated a clear bias against Trump and in favor of Clinton when Strzok, who also investigated Clinton. The Strzok-Lisa Page texts also reflected extensive discussions about the investigation, orchestrating leaks to the media, and including a meeting with Deputy Director McCabe to discuss an insurance policy against President Trump's election. Once again, folks, listen to that. Include a meeting with Deputy Director McCabe to discuss an insurance policy against President Trump's election. There were people in the FBI, in the DOJ, whether I like it, you like it, or anyone likes it or not, that were completely against Trump being elected and were ready to institute measures against him being elected. They do not care about the rule of law. They do not care about the voters. They do not care about the electoral college. They do not care about due process. If they cared about due process, they'd go with the Fourth Amendment. If you want to surveil someone, you have to have a reason. You have to have a good reason. You have to take it before a court, a judge in their district. You can't go to some star chamber called FISA. The only reason we have FISA here is because of the Patriot Act. They're not talking about that. Do away with the Patriot Act. Damn the Patriot Act. Trump should be saying this. I do not like Trump. I've got his button here, and yeah, I shill for him sometimes because he's the best option we have now. I do not like him. I do not think he's doing the correct thing. This idea of war on opiates and war on drugs, war on my nuts. The FBI, the NSA, well, not so much. The CIA, not so much, but they should be doing their jobs. The NSA and the CIA shouldn't be using some FISA court so they can spy. The CIA's mission statement says they will not operate on American soil. Yet they do. They break the Constitution and their mission statement. What do we expect when we say, as I've said before, that we're imperfect human beings? What do we expect when we elect or get together or group together another group of human beings to oversee us and give them unchecked power? You get this. Do you realize, people, that in a free society, you have the freedom to get away with breaking the law if you can? And yes, I don't care, snowflakes, murder, whatever horrible thing you can think of. Yes, you have the right to get away with it if you can. In this new brave new world we live in, they say, oh, if they botched this and botched that, well, look at the people that used to get away on technicalities. It was minuscule. And you have that in a free society. Now, nobody gets away on technicalities anymore because they've got other things that are their sided technicalities. That is tyranny. That's not freedom. If you love freedom, you embrace the idea of someone that is guilty getting away. You also embrace the idea that of someone that is guilty being punished, but not being punished for possession of marijuana or distribution of cocaine or any of these ridiculous prohibition laws, for sure. Things like hurting people, because inevitably someone will say, well, you're talking about drugs and that hurts people. Yes, because there's prohibition on it. And you've made it illegal so that people shoot each other over it. But if you take that away, there's only one good argument for that. I'll throw you a bone. It's fentanyl. But they should just, fentanyl is one of those things. It should be Schedule 1. They still prescribe fentanyl to people. Marijuana is Schedule 1, but fentanyl is okay. They would could smoke it on a live stream. Yes. Oh. I'm not sure Captain Copilot jumped on that. I would smoke damn near anything that was legal on live stream. I'll smoke some of this. Now I'm going to close this out. Thank you for your patience. There will be a part 2. I may do another little shit stream here in a minute. I just had to wash and brush up, though. Man, I hauled some wood the last couple of days. And where I've got these trees that have fallen down, it's in a swampy, marshy area that's now all frozen over. But where I can get my truck and where I'm cutting, the closest ones are about 50 feet. The furthest ones are about 150 feet, half a football field. Man, it might be exaggerated, 100 feet at least. I'll pace it off tomorrow because I can't go a straight line. I'm going through the woods. So I go cut them up, buck them up to pieces as large as I can carry. And once I buck them up to that, I carry them close to my truck, throw them down. Then I get my chainsaw back out, buck them right up into 16-inch pieces, load them up, bring them home, unload them, split them, stack them up. And I use a splitter. I don't have any hydraulic splitter. Oh, wow. Is that not off topic? Hi, wood. Hi, wood. Yeah, I hauled some wood. Yes, it's so wonderful. I got wood. I love wood. I love you, wood. The return of the wrenches. Well, I'm not necessarily, Cappy. I just got to give them to, there's certain, I can overrule fucking Quinn. I can. And I'm overruling him on a few people. For the most part, though, no, I'm not going to have a bunch of wrenches there. I mean, look, Memes of Destruction is one of my most loved people. I can see him out there now. It is a favoritism thing. I mean, no disrespect to Memes. And he says he's been around for a while. I don't even disbelieve that. I just don't know his name. So he's probably been around as far as I know, as far as we know, Memes of Destruction is Drunken Sailor. Cap, we don't know. But anyway, Ogre got wood and I don't care. That's right, brother. So let me close this out. That way I can take a little break and I'll probably come back, put voice meter on, take the boys down. I'm glad it worked out where you can see them too and my voice came through because I like to have the boys up when I'm talking about this stuff. I love this, man. I do. And I'll tell y'all something. I've never really been a lone wolf because you can't get as much done. Can I do things alone? Have many times in my life. I hauled all the wood alone today. I could have done this show alone today. I mean, yes. But as much as I want to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, I'm also very realistic. If you haven't realized that by now, you don't know me. And the realistic thing is, man, what kind of show would it be without Common Sense Guy? What would it be? Wouldn't be the same. Not where y'all come. What would it be without Magic Bollocks? Yes, it's changed. We've had Doppelganger, the Britisher. We used to have Cabbage Patch Bastard on damn near every day. We had Sancho Panza, also known as Buckshot Santos. We've had the Hard Bastard. We've had Amanda Wolfchild, Day is Dead. These are people that were regulars. They come on often. It keeps going, but I do believe this now. I hope the pictures don't change anytime soon, but I do believe that now we've found a groove. I mean, we got invited to Coach Red Pill's channel as a group. Coach Red Pill was like making sure he was like, Bollocks man's going to be there too because you can't get a hold of Bollocks. Very difficult to get a hold of Bollocks. It's not quite like Common Sense Guy. Common Sense Guy won't get fucking Discord, but he's easy to get a hold of. He's, the kitty cat is on kitty, 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 kitty. Make the pussy purr with a stroke of my hand. I'm getting it for free. Anyway, Bollocks is a little different. He's a little harder to get a hold of. Got to get on Discord. You know what? In the end, what we see from this memo is this. They lied and made shit up and went around and subverted authority when the law they were subverting was already destroying and trampling the Fourth Amendment to spy on Trump. And they still ain't got him. If they would have got something from that, folks, he would already be in court. They're going back. They're going back now because this special counsel, he can go as far as he wants. So they're looking through everything, every business dealing he's ever had. They're trying to find where he didn't cross a T or dot an I. Wow. So far, Trump won. New world order, nothing. And hopefully it continues to go that way, but hopefully Adam Kokesh will be elected not president, and the day he's there, we'll sign the executive order dissolving his position and making him the administrator of dissolving the United States government. And we can start anew and afresh. We need that. Listen, folks, until then, and I'm only going to be off for about 20 minutes, a half hour. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a little music little thing. I haven't been doing many live streams, and I want to get loose today and have a couple beers with y'all and maybe talk some shit. So swing back by if you can. It won't be nearly as serious, but we'll have some fun. Probably have a couple people on too. Memes, if you're free, I'm looking at you. So listen, remember this, regardless of the memo, fuck, it don't really matter. Regardless of Trump got elected, or even if Hillary would have got elected and Hillary was, you know, president right now. It doesn't matter. Don't matter if your car is broke down or if you drive a Rolls Royce or probably have someone drive you around if you have a Rolls Royce. None of that matters. Comey don't matter. Orr don't matter. You know, Strzok don't matter. None of these people matter. Nothing makes any difference. Nothing I could say to you could move you one iota. If nothing I've said has ever gotten through to you, there's only one thing that matters, Captain Colepile. Be good to your friends. Be good to your family members. Be good to your loved ones. Be quick to say you're sorry. Be even quicker to accept an apology, especially when that thing your friend, your family member, your loved one has done seems to be so huge, you'll never be able to forget about it. Because constant viewers, memes, would, my beloved friends, zero cool. At a time you think not. Your friends, your family members, your loved ones, your life, and everything you know will depart from you. Ha 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 ha!